Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon. This afternoon, as we're live from Blue Ember Smokehouse here in Rogers off of Pleasant Grove. I guess it's Pleasant Grove Avenue, Pleasant Grove Lane. It's on Pleasant Grove. If you've been on 49, you know, because you see it as the exit.
Exit 81.
There you go, exit 81. Best way to put it. But we love coming here to Blue Ember. Awesome spot. Again, first Wednesday of every month. We're always going to be here at Blue Ember. Guys, it's good to see you in person. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today, but it's always great when you can come to Blue Ember and have the smell of barbecue, not only in the air, but on your clothes, and the great food that we're about to dine on after the show ends today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, big basketball game tonight at Bud Walton Arena. And so when you have one of these events, you wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, just give me the tip off. Please give me the tip off. You need something to kill your time. For a lot of you out there, and we really appreciate you. That's us. For whatever reason, hey, thanks.
Yeah.
For us, though, we need a little, something extra to take our attention for a while. And the aromas here at Blue Ember Smokehouse. Once again, and I know we talked about it in our group text, I am regretting not eating before the show, but I will be looking forward to doing it afterwards. I love coming out here. Man.
We keep doing that. And
we do.
We
really
need
do.
to stop acting like we're not going to do the same thing that we do every time.
I think it's better to eat after, because we don't want to. One, you don't want to eat during the show, which we have done before. I have done a lot of times. But also, you don't want to like eat a ton and then you feel gross. And then you're like sitting here and you're like, you're rubbing your belly.
Leave, everyone knows why. You know?
Exactly. And so I think we handled it right. And no, you're right, man. It's a big night. Big day. I mean, this is a new era of Razorback athletics. We're welcoming our new football coach tomorrow. This is the pregame for the celebration tomorrow, and you got the pregame for the game tonight. This could end up being a huge, monumental turning point for this Razorback basketball team. If not, then we don't get to make fun of Kentucky anymore. It's tough, but happy National Signing Day to all those who celebrate. I do kind of miss when it was like National Signing Day was like the biggest deal in the world, and there was only one of them, and it was like a huge deal. Not the same luster, but still, it's fine.
Yeah. In fact, we're going to have Dudley Dawson, who is our Inside Arkansas recruiting expert. He's going to join us late in the show to give us kind of a quick rundown, recap of everything that's happened today on signing day, which has been, again, a very busy one, because it's crazy to think, if you're Ryan Silverfield, it's like, hey, you get hired. All right, you got signing day here in a couple days, buddy. Get after it. And, he started off strong. We'll see how it all finishes out, but like you said, Andrew, it just doesn't mean the same anymore. Like back when it was the first Wednesday of February or whatever it was, I mean, that was it. But then it was like, well, now you have the early signing period, which then ended up becoming just the signing period. And now with the transfer portal stuff, it's like not to say it's completely irrelevant, but it's not the same. It's not the same as it once was.
Yeah, that's true. At least there's been some buzz here down the stretch that we otherwise wouldn't have received, because most of the guys are already committed, and and maybe you're waiting on one or two little surprises by the end of the cycle before you put pen to paper. With Silverfield here now, he's had a few flips, and we'll see what happens over the course of the rest of the day and everything like that here. But yeah, I can't imagine the whirlwind for him. At least he was in Memphis and not over on the West Coast or something weird. But I hopped on that plane, got over here, and just had to get right to it. I wonder, what does this look like for him? I know he's got a wife and the little ones at home. Is he staying in the same little condo off Dixon that they put John Calipari in for a few days? Like, what does that look like for him and his family right now? It's kind of crazy. It's part of the profession, but to take a job like this and have 3 days before you're really starting to lay your first foundation for the program that you're trying to build here at Arkansas, that's a lot going on. So exciting times here for sure. It is the dawn of a new era. I'm excited about it. Looking forward to seeing what they come up with the rest of the day. And then obviously hearing him address Razorback Nation tomorrow. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, signing day is always going to be tough when you're a new coach going in, and when you're a program that is undergoing change. Signing day is always weird. It's going a lot better for Arkansas than it is Penn State, who, by my estimation, I believe has the worst recruiting class in the entire country now as of today, which is something. But, part of what made that February signing period so cool back in the day is you really felt as a fan like the state of your program was up for grabs that day. It felt like such a monumental, if we don't have a good signing day, you didn't really have the portal to kind of reinforce. You didn't have all these different avenues that could bring in talent to your roster. So National Signing Day was kind of a day where the future of your program was determined, and it still is. I mean, all these guys, these 15 guys that have signed so far, and we'll see, what that looks like in the end. This is a big deal for them. This is a monumental moment in their life, and it's a big deal for the program with Ryan Silverfield starting it. But I think what helps for Hog fans is the state of your program is not up for grabs. And I think with Ryan Silverfield, it's been 3 days now. We all are like very kind of dead set on figuring out, all right, are we pro Silverfield? Are we anti Silverfield? Is he going to be a great coach? Is he going to be a bad coach? The good thing is we don't really know, and we're not going to get that answer, and we're not getting it today. So I think for a Hog fan, and really any college football fan today, you have to just take it through whatever lens you want. You know, you get the players you want. You still have a portal to make your roster with. You still have a lot of moving pieces, and so there's not as much stress on this day as there maybe was in years past.
Yeah, which is really nice. And again, we're going to talk all about that. We'll have Dudley on and kind of recap it some, see if there's any surprises as it's still going on. But we'll be sure to keep everybody updated. And also, since we're live here from Blue Ember, have a great deal going on for you. We're going to be giving away 2 $100 gift cards today. And here's how you do it. It's a very simple thing. We have intern Cameron, who is always the hardest working guy in the business. He's right over here next to us. All you do is when you come into Blue Ember here off of Pleasant Grove, you just go to our guy Cameron and give him your name and your phone number. Don't worry, he's not going to put it in his phone. He's going to put it on his notepad. And then we're going to do a drawing for it. And we'll have that all squared away. So that way you don't have to stay here for the whole hour and a half because you probably have a job and everything. But it'll at least give you an opportunity for us to contact you whenever the winner is announced. And we may do that. We may have some on the stream that we'll give them away to, but we'll keep you updated on it. But it's just great to be out here. So come out and see us, as it's going to be a busy day for us here today, because not only is it signing day, but Razorback basketball tonight, as was mentioned. I'm trying to think back to when was the last game against an opponent like this in Louisville in Bud Walton Arena. We talked yesterday how there wasn't really a whole lot of big wins that Cal's had at home, but as far as to this level, and maybe more non-conference too, it's maybe Duke a couple of years,
I think, yeah.
So which went pretty well for Arkansas on that one at least. But there's no doubt that this is a game that you don't want to call must win, but man, one of those would be really nice if they did. It'd be a real nice gesture if they won this game tonight.
Yeah, it's tough. I've been trying to figure out the best way to describe it because you're right. I mean, it's early December, and no game at this point can really be a must win, but it's a sure need to win type of game here for Arkansas. And it's interesting. I think the fact that they stayed in the top 25 this week is it's a sign of respect for the Razorbacks because they don't have any wins to show for it right now, and that's the biggest thing. But they've kind of looked the part. They looked really good in that game against Duke. Which, by the way, did you guys see that tweet that just went out from CBS Sports? Is like had more eyes on it than 3 times the. I don't know the exact numbers there, but a lot of people watched that game. If you're an Arkansas fan, you sure wish you could have won on that stage. You didn't. That's okay, but. It's one thing to show some progress, and it's one thing to be super competitive with these teams that have looked awesome. But at some point, you got to get the win to validate the resume, to get that signature stamp on there for the non-conference. You have 5 opportunities. You missed on the first 2. This one at home in Bud Walton Arena that should be charged up. It better be charged up. You have to take advantage of this atmosphere. It's not going to be easy. Louisville's very, very good. They shoot a ton of threes. It's kind of like Alabama with the way they do the threes or layups thing. They just go about it an entirely different way. But, we'll see what it looks like, man. The matchup in the backcourt between, Michael Brown, they've got Ryan Conwell, and McNeely's one of the better shooters in the country. You got Arkansas's dynamic freshman back there. Like it's crazy. It's going to be high entertainment value, and I can't wait to get down there. 6:15, though, which is weird because I know it's been 6 p.m. on the Razorback website, but everything they were showing last night said 6:15 tip. I guess that's for TV purposes.
Huh. I like that. Arkansas has to win tonight. And I know that, like you said, they don't actually literally have to win. There's no one game on your schedule at this stage that's going to make or break. But from a mentality standpoint and from a vibe standpoint of the fan base and just kind of what we need, I really do feel like there's a lot of pressure here for Arkansas, and I hope they have that mentality. And as we always say, you don't have to win tonight, but if you don't win tonight, that Texas Tech game becomes pretty massive. Then you don't win that Texas Tech game, that Houston game becomes pretty massive, and then you're going to an SEC play with your back against the wall. By that point, you'll start playing in some games that you genuinely do have to win. And so we always see these things where John Rothstein loves to tweet out, "Oh, this game it feels like an Elite Eight matchup in San Diego here in Bud Walton Arena or whatever." And the reason we say that is because it's basically free practice for when you play in the NCAA tournament. Now you're not going to be able to play in Bud Walton Arena, but in terms of the level of competition you're facing, the stakes, the intensity of the fan base, and sort of that feeling hanging over you, I want the players to feel that. I want the players tonight to feel like their back's up against the wall. It's not actually up against the wall, but it's like if you're going to eventually be in some matchups against big-time opponents where you do literally have to win. When you get to the NCAA tournament, that's how it works. You have to win. I want to see this team go ahead and get some experience doing it. They've picked up some valuable lessons. They learned in that game against Michigan State, which I do think was a good development for them to go through that. I think they learned a lot in that Duke game. I think that was a valuable experience, and they can still pick up a valuable experience here tonight. I just really want this team to start accumulating some valuable experiences that results in wins. And I think their resume could certainly use it. This fan base could certainly use it with everything going on right now. And I just think it'd be good for the morale of the team. You win this Louisville game, you're not right back up there where it's like, oh, you're going to be a top 5 team now, but it's like, now you've got some momentum. You've proven you can do it. That locker room starts believing a little bit. I think there's a lot of value to be had in having your back up against the wall and feeling that hanging over the locker room and then coming out of the other end of it good would be such a huge boost for this team right now.
Well, I'll tell you this, going back to the tweet you were referencing, Curtis. First off, they put the graphic up. They cut off the Razorbacks part at the bottom, so we're already off to a roaring start. But either way, 6.8 million viewers, which on CBS, which is the most watched regular season college basketball game in 30-plus years. Is that like I don't see any other like little asterisks or anything around that. Is like that, y'all believe that? Like, I mean, listen, that's awesome, but really?
Cal tried to tell us, man.
He literally did.
Yeah, I know he did.
He literally did. That's crazy. Well, I'm never doubting Cal again, because I think we even talked about when he said that, we're like, maybe. But yeah, it's almost like he knows what he's talking about when it comes to box office and getting seen and all that good stuff.
I mean, we can pretty much just book it every year. They're going to play on Thanksgiving in one of these spots now, right? I mean, they've done it 2 years in a row. It's been a smashing success. It's not like Cal is just going to bow out all of a sudden and say, oh, yeah, we'll let some other teams get in on this. He's locked into it as long as he's at Arkansas. And I guess they'll play a different team every year. We can. Who do we want to play on Thanksgiving next year? Who does that need to be? UConn. Boom. There it is. Done.
That's what I want. Done. Arkansas, it's been too long since we played UConn. I want revenge.
Stuffing Dan Hurley in the locker. We like that?
Yes.
I like the way that sounds.
Yeah. Play. Is he going to be in Chicago too?
It makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. I was trying to think if there would be another venue, because they already done Madison Square Garden, Chicago. Maybe have it in Vegas. I don't know if they got something going on during Thanksgiving there, but I don't know. Well, I'm sure something will happen. Something will get figured out there. But yeah, it's exciting though for this game too. And you don't get many of these non-conference home games, but since it's part of the ACC SEC Challenge, it's going to be exciting. So I know we'll have a lot to get into today. But as far as like tonight, what's y'all's confidence level though? I mean, because listen, they played 2 good teams away from Bud Walton. One of them a true road game against Michigan State. The other one Duke and Chicago. Both occasions, they were in possible running for a win. Didn't get it done. Had some ups, had some downs. But just what's your confidence level right now that they can win this game tonight?
It's pretty high. Yeah, it's pretty high. I predicted Arkansas to beat Duke, and I went back and listened, to what I said in the Padded Palace, and I was like, yeah, like Duke's strengths kind of align with Arkansas's weaknesses. I don't know how good I feel about it, but yeah, it's Cal, it's a spotlight. We'll see what happens. Sure, I'll give them the win. This one, I actually believe it. It's Bud Walton Arena, and given a lot of benefit of the doubt here, right, for this atmosphere to be what it needs to be. But I'm kind of going back to subscribing to that mindset of, well, if you're going to come into Bud when it's rocking, you better be 10 points better than the Razorbacks or whatever. I think it's going to be that type of atmosphere in there tonight. I agree. I think they've learned a lot from these 2 games. I went back and watched the extended highlights of the Michigan State game, and then right after that, I watched the same for the Duke game. Arkansas got a lot better from the Michigan State game to the Duke game. We didn't know if that was the case, and we watched everything that happened in between, like when they almost lost to Winthrop or whatever, but they did. They made a lot of improvements, and for me now, it's 2 things that I think about with Arkansas. It's when a team starts to put a run on you, when they hit you with a flurry, what can you do to quell that? What can you do to stop that? Who's going to get you the bucket? Who's going to get the stop to calm things down? Because against Duke, momentum would shift just a little bit, and it would snowball on them. And then next thing you know, you're in a hole, and it takes like 90 seconds. And then it's getting it done in winning time. And that's the signs of a young team that's relying on freshmen in the backcourt. They've got to get those experiences to get the right type of shots or get the defensive stop that you need in the closing minutes to win a game. It helps when you've got 19,000 going crazy and putting that game pressure on the opponent. So at home in this spot, give me the Razorbacks. And if they get it done, it would be a huge one for them.
There should be a lot of sense of urgency on the Arkansas side. For one, they've played in 2 big marquee matchups. They have lost both. And so there should be some sense of angst about, hey, we've got to win a big game. We have to prove that we're a good team. And so I think that's something that should help Arkansas. And not for nothing, Louisville has won some good games. They've had some big matchups. I mean, they beat Kentucky pretty good. Not to say that they're going to be satisfied. I mean, this is a good team, well coached, a lot of talent. They still want to come in here and win, no doubt about it. But there should be no question about which team wants it more tonight, which team is the most desperate, the most urgent. And then you add that in with the home court, and we'll see what the crowd looks like. Is it worth all those two factors of the urgency and the crowd? Is that worth 5 points? Is it worth 10 points? Is it worth negative points because Arkansas is putting too much pressure on themselves? I don't know. My guess is that's going to help Arkansas, and I definitely want to see that. And I want to see this crowd feed into that as well. I also think matchup-wise, like you said, Duke was kind of more the team that matchup-wise you're looking, you're like, oh, crap, they've got a big guy that they can run offense through. That's kind of our weakness. It doesn't really line up that well. Louisville has a lot of strengths. Arkansas shares a lot of those strengths, I feel, at least. I think Arkansas likes to play at that fast tempo. I don't know if Arkansas is quite as prolific offensively, but inside Bud Walton Arena, I think Arkansas is a team that can score with a lot of teams. And this is not a team, Duke is a really, really, really good defensive team. Michigan State, really, really, really good defensive team. Not that Louisville's a bad defensive team, but I don't think it's that same level of game, that same level of matchup. And so I do think this is going to be a little bit more of a get out and run fest, which Arkansas at home with these talented freshmen, that should be a matchup that suits them. Louisville also doesn't have the type of big men that are going to, that you're like, oh man, we can't play Malik Ewan in this game because they're going to run all this offense through this guy. I think that benefits Arkansas as well. And so I want to see Arkansas look comfortable in this matchup. I want to see Arkansas look like they belong, and I want to see them play with some desperation. I also think Arkansas gets it done tonight simply because they have to. They have to win tonight.
No, I agree. Like if it's something that they win, it just brings everything back into like the fold of like, oh, we're back. Like we're back, baby. We got that nice top 10 win, and everything's back. And Cal's back on his stuff, and I can't wait to see his press conference. And because everyone's buzzing and everything, and he goes in there, he's just like, I didn't think we played well tonight, guys. Like did you not see how many shots we missed tonight? Like it's just there's going to be that Cal-isms that are going to come out, which. You should be excited, and hopefully this is the thing that the team needs, but it would just mean a lot if they can finally get to that point and just have that monkey off their back of finally being like, okay, is this team good or not good? Hey, you can point at least to, which we'll still find out if they're good, but at least point to back. Well, hey, but we beat Louisville at least, so more than some other SEC teams can say at this point in time.
Yeah, I was getting ready to bring that up, and yeah, they need a win to validate kind of what we think about where this team is at, and I also hope. It's sad to me that John Calipari had to do the thing where he was like, hey, come to the game, the last 4 minutes, don't sit down, as if you don't know that as Razorback fans at Bud Walton Arena. But what do you expect him to do after what we've seen so far this year? So I hope Razorback fans take that personally and just go over the top with being loud and rowdy in there. It should be a really cool environment. Malik Thomas talked yesterday, about what that's going to feel like, and he seems like a guy who's a huge momentum. You get that type of energy in the crowd. He's not scared of those moments and taking those shots. So that could be a lot of fun for him. I forgot that he didn't visit for a basketball game. He visited for the Tennessee football game. So he got to see when they stormed the field and everything, which was cool. But this is like his first experience in Bud Walton where it's going to really be rocking. I remember Acuff was at the Mississippi State game last year. Remember, he was with Nate Ament, and we saw them walking around. We're like, oh, those guys, that's cool. But speaking of Nate Ament, the other part of the pressure here for Arkansas is they've got to carry water for the SEC because they didn't do their job last night. 3-6 in 9 games in the SEC ACC Challenge. Florida, nice effort. Boogie Flan dribbled it away off of his leg down there at Duke. Tennessee goes on the road to Syracuse. Way too much orange for my liking, but they lose that game. They've got some issues going on over there.
Court storm, by the way. Holy cow.
Happened?
Yeah, that was bad.
I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah.
I think that was it, Curtis. I don't think there were any other games.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to any of them.
A bad North Carolina team. They beat somebody. I can't remember who they played.
Somebody blue, I think.
I think it was an NIT team that they beat.
Yeah, that's right. I was watching it the whole time. I was like, this seems like one of those games would be in the first 4 at Dayton. But, that happened. Missouri lost. Ole Miss lost. And it's like, what are we doing here? So now if you're the SEC and you care about the bragging rights thing, you won this thing 14-2 last year. It's like Arkansas, Auburn, Bama need to get it done tonight to save face for this league.
Yes.
I like that. I don't care. We always talk about what's your why. People always say, what's your why? You have that little picture in your locker that motivates you. It can be the simple, hey, I want to represent the SEC in this challenge. It could be, hey, I want to put on for the Razorback fans. It could be my grandmother passed away 3 years ago and I want to honor her legacy. I don't care what your why is, but show up tonight. Take it personally. When I was a kid growing up, I had 4 older siblings, and they would accuse me all the time of being too cool, like being too cool for school. Not too cool like I'm cool, but I would try and act like I didn't care. And, I would always want to do what my older siblings were doing, and I would kind of act like I was too cool for people my age, and they would always say, hey, don't do that, like that's lame. And I remember my sisters telling me that, like, hey, it's not cool to act like you don't care. That's what I want Arkansas to have, that mentality of, like, take it personally. Take the fact that you're in your home court in front of a good crowd for the first time all year. Take it personally. Hey, that crowd that shows up, by the way, y'all take it personally. Take it personally that we've been throwing all these shots at Bud Walton Arena. Take it personally that everybody's doubting whether or not you're really worth the hype, that we hyped you up all offseason saying you were going to be awesome. Take it personally that we have not seen you show up yet. Like, I want you to really show us that you care tonight. And fans, I want you to do that as well, because I do not want Arkansas to lose a close game to Louisville tonight and then us to go on the post game and say, well, it's not that bad of a loss, and that's a good Louisville team, and Arkansas was right there, and they're showing that they can compete at a high level. We're not doing that. We are no longer being too cool for school, man. Like, we have to take this personally. It is a big deal if you win or lose. Take it personally. Show us that you care.
I'm glad you said that. If for some reason Arkansas does not win this game tonight, we want everybody to show up for the Pot at the Palace postgame show.
Yep.
But if you are looking for sunshine and silver linings, you won't find it with us tonight.
Nope.
Yeah. Very, very adamant that Arkansas
commit to that. I commit to that. Even
Okay.
if they play amazing basketball and lose by 1,
Doesn't
I'm
matter.
going to be devastated tonight. I will not be happy.
No, because then you know what you are? You're Razorback football if you do that. I mean, you're
Exactly.
truly.
Yeah.
It's
We've
like,
seen how dangerous it can be if you, hey, it's okay. They only lost by 3 to Ole Miss.
listen,
It's not that big of a deal.
they're
And then you lose
improving.
10 straight, and then it's not fun.
they tried really hard. I mean, yeah, it's going to be tough. So, but yeah, we're here live from Blue Ember here in Rogers, starting to pack in for the lunch crowd that's here. So if you're in the area, come on by and hit up our intern Cameron to be in the running for the $100 gift cards that we're going to be giving away here with Blue Ember. But I want to remind everybody that if you ever have any issues when it comes to your draining or plumbing, you need to call and have Drain Masters of Arkansas take care of you, because they are officially licensed in plumbing and drain cleaning, serving the Northwest Arkansas area, the River Valley area, the Oklahoma area, and beyond. And they are ready to handle all plumbing and drain cleaning needs with professional and reliable service. So if you need to request a service, whether it's your home or business, you can give them a call today at 479-646-5585. That's 479-646-5585. You can also scan that QR code on your screen. It's going to take you right to their website. But no matter what it is, when you do it, be sure to say that Inside Arkansas sent you. Fellas, if Inside Arkansas sent you, because when you do, you get 10% off all the services. Doesn't matter how much you need done. You get 10% off whenever you say Inside Arkansas sent you. Anything and everything plumbing related. No job is too big or too small. Drain Masters of Arkansas has you covered. Again, live from Blue Ember here in Rogers, and I know we'll talk some football and dealing with which real quick, actually, because I've been discussing this, and I know I've probably been annoying you two with my fascination because I'm fascinated in weird things. But this thing tomorrow, where we have a press conference for Ryan Silverfield at 1, and then the ceremony / celebration or whatever it is at 5. And I know what the press conference is about. We've all been to it, but I don't know if I've ever seen something like this. We all waited a few days, it's whatever, but then it's like, I felt like it was usually all together or one was after the other. I don't know. Just does it say anything, or is it just kind of like, hey, we're trying something new and this is kind of where we're trying to fit it into the schedule?
I think that's what it is. I don't know that they've got that they've really had a well thought through plan to execute here, but yeah, it is interesting. With Cal, he did I guess it was the celebration thing first. And, Hunter got to go up there and beat his chest, and then Cal got to tell his stories with Chuck Barrett. And then we went in and did the press conference. And so maybe it's just the opposite of that. But, yeah, the timing in between is interesting to me. It seems like it would, right? Like, make more sense to just do them back-to-back like that. I don't know if they just have to get everything set up, or if he's got some other stuff lined up, or Hogs Plus needs to get a big, get the camera on him. He comes off of his first press conference like, did I nail it? I think I nailed it. And then they follow him around. I don't know what it's all about. But it is interesting to me that we've got that long of a break in between. I did see that, I guess for those who aren't able to go to the public celebration, they are going to stream it on Hogs Plus or whatever.
Free.
I imagine that would be for free.
Yeah,
So
thankfully.
that's cool for people who aren't in Fayetteville or whatever. I know it's kind of in the middle of the day. So,
yeah.
John, you also brought up a good point that they're opening doors at 4. And, like, what is that going to look like? Obviously, you can open up the doors and just let people in and they just stand there. But, like, Is it everybody just going to be walking around the practice facility? Like, what is that going to look like? Is there going to be specific seating? Like,
well, because usually you guys have been invited to the swanky parties, when you get to invitation, and it's like, the party's going to start at 6, but, people start showing up around 5. That's kind of what it thinks. It's like, okay, so you socialize, cocktail drinks and whatnot, but it's like kind of like, I guess, to get a seat, maybe like you show up early.
They serving mini quiches or what?
Yeah, like because you've already done the press conference, so I guess it'll just be, telling some stories. Or they just, again, this is not me hating. I'm just curious about it because we've already seen press conferences happen for other coaches. We know about the celebrations and everything. It's just, I don't know. I'm fascinated to see, are people just gonna arctically stand around and hang out because it's at the practice facility, the Walker Pavilion, right? I think so, because I guess that's where Pittman was. But I'm just fascinated to see what kind of ceremony we're going to see and witness today, tomorrow.
I heard that one of the things they're trying to do is get a big projector set up in there in the pavilion. That way they can play the second half of the Memphis Arkansas game starting at 4:00.
Ew.
And right about the time that wraps up, they're gonna do the introduction and everything like that. So I think that's what we're looking at here. But a big win for your coach and just kind of let everybody know what he's all about. And I think they wanted to put that together in a nice way. Maybe have like the Titanic theme song in the background and everything like that. So I think that's probably what's going to take them a little bit to get set up and roll with there.
I know we do the thing all the time where we talk about our scheduling on the show. I'll let John handle that in terms of what we're going to do tomorrow, but we will just say that did also put us in a little bit of a pretzel where it's like if they had said, hey, press conference at 1, celebration at 2, it'd be pretty easy to say, hey, our stream's at 3. We don't really know how we're going to go about this. And the thing I keep coming back to, though, with the Silverfield celebration tomorrow is, everyone else did their press conference on Monday, which in the moment we were all like, hey, why are we not doing a press conference? This is awesome. You go to that day 1 press conference, and any question that they ask you, you are well within your rights to not answer it. Hey, are you going to keep KJ Jackson? Well, I haven't looked at the film yet. I haven't met with KJ. We're going to have a conversation and do all this. Hey, are you going to keep the coaching staff? Well, we haven't met with the coaches yet. We'll see. I just got here off the plane. No, I haven't answered all that yet. On Thursday, it's a lot less realistic for you to not have an answer. You should have seen all the KJ Jackson film. You should have had your conversation with Eric Mateos. You should have had your conversation with your defensive staff. You should have an idea. You've already done signing day. We can talk to you about that. You can speak about some of these recruits. That's the most fascinating part to me is like tomorrow, as much as it is a celebration, we're getting our first real inkling of like what the Ryan Silverfield era is going to look like. And we're going to get way more answers. Not that we're going to get every answer to solve the program's issues, but we're going to get way more answers than I think we would have. And I think afterward we'll be appreciative of that.
Well, let me put a little conspiracy on it. This is my conspiracy theory of the timing and everything. Which, by the way, folks, for tomorrow, Inside Arkansas Live will not be at noon. We're going to do it later in the night because we usually do our EA Sports simulations. Don't have to do those anymore, thank goodness. So we're just going to do a little Inside Arkansas Live after dark once we've had the full-fledged thing, just to let you know. But either way, my conspiracy is they have the press conference. And say if there's any sort of damage control that needs to be done, or maybe something didn't come across the right way, or maybe something needed clarification or something, then they can have the ceremony when Chuck will sit down and throw the certain questions and, maybe like base it off that. Again, conspiracy probably has nothing to do with that, but maybe it does at least provide an opportunity to where, Silverfield, I haven't watched a whole lot of press conferences. He's like a well-spoken guy, so I'm not saying he's going to get up there and just be like, I don't know. Like, I think he'll do okay, but maybe it's just something to where it's like, say maybe something didn't go completely right. Maybe if he got hammered about the finances and he said something about like, I don't know how much money we have. And then suddenly when Chuck interviews him later, it's like, we have so much money, it's stupid. Like maybe it's something to that extent. But yeah, I'm excited just to see it. Have the questions, see how he handles the media, and see how, the hard-hitting media questions from like Hutch and Trey Biddy out there, throwing their bombs, seeing how it goes. Because, nothing, you can do anything with these other interviews, but when you get the Arkansas media after you, you're gonna have to come prepared, man, for those hard-hitting ones.
Is this is a joint thing with him and Hunter, right? Or no?
I don't know if they've ever specified, but I'd assume so.
I bet it is.
Has to be.
Because then I wonder who gets asked more questions.
Dude,
it could wind up being a doozy. And obviously, the new football coach, and you want to hear a lot of different things from him. But, all the media members know, like, some of the questions about the resources and all these things that Hunter's had going on. And so he's going to get peppered, too. This might be like an hour and 10-minute press conference. Like we might set a record for the longest one.
The way that Hunter is going to respond because he's going to be asked straight up, hey, Hunter, the last time that we saw you at a press conference, you were sitting up there with Bob Vitrino, and you said point blank, we did not financially support our football coach, Sam Pittman. And you kind of alluded to maybe you would have that solved. He's going to get asked for an update. What is going to come out of Hunter Yurachek's mouth when he is asked that question? Is he going to completely, and I'm serious when I'm asking this because I don't know what he's going to say. Do y'all think he's going to like downplay it and be like, oh, well, it's a work in progress. We're of course, we're committed to giving him finances. Is he going to lie and be like, we have completely flipped it. We are now rich and here we are. Here's all our money. Is he going to backtrack and be like, well, I never said that? Like, what is his answer going to be when he's asked, hey, you said last time you were not financially supporting the coach. Are you now?
I think he is going to try his best to just regurgitate what he put in that statement.
Yeah.
We have made a significant investment into our, the resources for our football program. And he's going to try to leave it as just surface level as that is kind of what I would imagine would happen. I do think back to the Calipari thing, and before we even got to the presser, it was all like, oh, yeah, well, John Tyson's putting in this much money. They've got $7 million in NIL. That buys like one player now. But at the time, it was huge. Yeah, he was like, hey, that money is not in the bank. Like, we still need people. So what he has to find a balance here between, hey, this is trending in the right direction. We've improved our situation. We're pumped about where this is at. But he doesn't want to give off the wrong impression of, hey, we've got plenty, because they don't, and you can never have enough. So how he plays that balancing act, I think, is going to be pretty interesting. I thought it was hilarious the way he went about it with Cal. We all knew what the Tyson money was looking like, and he's like, whoa, we still need all of you. The drive for 5, everybody get in. But I'm going to be interested to see how he plays both sides of the coins here on tomorrow. Well, which, by the way, just real quick, it is Silverfield and Yurachek, not only at 1 o'clock for the press conference, but also it's the two of them for the public thing at 5 o'clock. So
interesting.
They'll be arm in arm.
Okay. So, maybe it's going back to my conspiracy theory. Maybe it's not just for clarification from Ryan. Maybe it'd be clarification for Hunter too, in case he says something like that. But no, I think it's great because I really hope that because Hunter is going to be asked about the finances, like 100%, and they should, and everybody should ask about the finances because it's the most important thing. But I want to hear specifics. I'd love to know, and she probably won't go into, but I'd love to know, okay, you say this investment, but what changed from Pittman to now? Was it just, did you ask nicer? Did you ask different people? Were people just anti-Pittman, but now they're more, like, just what changed? Because it's not like it's been 2-3 years since that's happened. I mean, we're talking about a few months when it was happening. So I'd love to know more about that. I think also, to your point, I think Yurachek gets asked more questions, but I bet you Silverfield starts to, what they call it in politics. What is it? Not gerrymandering, but like when you're up there and you're just
filibustering.
Yeah, thank you. I can see him filibustering. Just up there, just trying to like fill time to kind of go along with it. So
Hunter's like kicking him under the table, like save me.
Yeah, just being on or just be like, oh, I got college football playoff people want me real quick. I got to go. They got another thing I got to do. So I don't know, but we're always interested in press conferences, but this one's definitely one I'm more. It sounds bad. I'm more interested to hear from Hunter than I am Ryan Silverfield. I know that sounds bad, but I just think that there's a lot more questions I want to answer.
Well, because Ryan Silverfield's ability to succeed in this job is directly impacted by if Hunter Yurachek is doing his. So that's it. We can, because he's probably gonna tell us everything that we want to hear, and there's gonna be renewed optimism, and all that's great. But literally nothing he says matters if he is not given the support that Sam Pittman didn't have. So I think you're right about that.
Curtis, we learned this lesson when we were in Big J reporting school. We learned that if you want a specific answer out of a person at a press conference, you can frame a question a certain way to get that answer. We see it all the time happen in fall camp. Hey, is Ian Giffard making some progress? Of course, the coach is going to say, yeah, he's making some progress. This is great. So if any of the media members, y'all want to take this tip, I'll give it to you. Ask Hunter Yurachek, say, hey, you were having these conversations trying to get money with Sam Pittman as your head coach. Have those conversations become easier now that Ryan Silverfield is your head coach? Now that you're going to these donors and saying, hey, we want you to support, and here's the guy we want you to support. Have you noticed any success? Has it been easier? Has it been harder? Because that's one thing Ryan Silverfield, the vibe that we've gotten is that his recruiting, like his job recruiting in-state players, is easier than it was for Sam Pittman, obviously, since it took him one phone call to get half of them to commit. I wonder if it's the same for donors. I don't know, but if you're looking for a way to positively spin that, that would be the way to do it. So if you are a media member who loves the Razorbacks and want them to look good, maybe give Hunter a softball like that so he can give you something good. But guys, I just want to say, next time that I owe someone money and they text me and are like, hey man, I got lunch the other day, like what's up? I'm just going to respond and say, I am committing to a big financial commitment. I am putting forth a huge financial commitment starting now towards your bank account. I'm going to commit financially in a big way.
I think that's a good way to go about it. I hope that somebody asks Silverfield, like, hey, with your check sitting right there, like when you were being interviewed for this job, when you were considering this job, I'm sure you were aware of what he said at the Touchdown Club about not supporting Sam Pittman, about how this program is not in a position to succeed. How did that impact you? Like, what did you think when you heard that? And then what has happened since then that made you decide this is the job that you need to take and made you believe in what's going on here? Because I'd really like to hear it, because that's a damning statement, and it comes back to Hunter Yurachek literally at every turn. Like every time he's in front of a camera, it's like there's something else that people were able to hang on to, and that's his own fault. But that's one that's going to be really hard to escape. And so the guy who did take the job skipped the tradition of Arkansas. And no. Your athletic director said you were broke, boys, and you took the job. I can't imagine that he would have came to you and said, hey, this is a sinking ship, dude. We'll pay you to go down with it, and then good luck with the rest of your career. So talk to us about it. Let's get specific.
Yeah, no, I'm see, this is exactly what I want to hear and hope to hear. And it goes back to the whole thing. And I know we'll get to the chats, folks, and we're live from Blue Ember here in Rogers, but it's that I want to hear all of that, because this is why we would talk about, Hunter, when you say things like this publicly, these are the types of moments and times where people are going to be like, coming back on you on it. If you would have never brought up the finances at the Little Rock Touchdown Club and say, we're not here, or never came out and said Sam Pittman was not financial, you're not going to get pressed on this at this press conference tomorrow. Like, you would not get it. Now, again, if you're truthful, that's great. Like, obviously we love when people tell the truth, but if you would have maybe massaged it in a different way of saying, hey, was Sam Pittman financially supported? We did a lot of things that we felt like he was in a good position to help himself succeed. And, obviously there's a lot more factors that go into it. It's like, been very political and everything. It may change that to where this is not even a topic tomorrow. But because Hunter came out and said these things, it has to be a topic. It has to be asked to him.
You remember when I gave that whole soliloquy yesterday about the screenwriter who writes himself into a corner of you just kind of are going around and you're putting yourself in the toughest possible position so that you can get your way out of it. That's a way to do it creatively. That's what Hunter Yurachek and Sam Pittman, when he was the head coach, would always do, is they would kick the can down the road and say, well, we're bad right now, but in 2 months, everything's going to be fine. And then we get to 2 months, well, things are not great right now, but hey, in the portal period, we're going to be great. And, well, the portal period sucks right now, but hey, when that rev share gets passed, we're going to do that. It's been a never-ending cycle of kicking the can down the road. And one thing I can appreciate, we've talked about Ryan Silverfield and some of his initial messaging and what we like, what we don't like, what we think is just coach speak. One thing I have appreciated is he has never played into the notion of this is not going to be an overnight fix. That's what Chad Morris said for 2 years. This ain't going to be an overnight fix. This is going to be a long process. Silverfield has never said anything like that. He has always been like, hey, we have to start winning right now. We have to start holding ourselves to that championship standard right now. We have to get the right people in this building right now. And that is the tenor that I hope to hear tomorrow, is we are done kicking the can down the road. And that goes for Hunter Yurachek as well, because he's contributed to this. Even in the Petrino presser he did, he kind of was kicking the can down the road where he's like, to this point, we have not financially supported our team. But in this magic moment in the future, we will start doing that. Tomorrow needs to be the day that we stop doing that. We cannot keep alluding to this hypothetical future where the things are going to be great. And you can't say, well, hopefully in year 3 of Silverfield, we'll be rich and we'll have a good team. I'm tired of hearing that. And it's not going to be true of, hey, right now, today, we are a championship program. But you definitely have to have that mindset and be operating that way. And I think there's no doubt about, we don't even have to debate. Arkansas has not been operating with a championship mindset in football for a really long time. You're not going to be a championship program overnight. So as much as I'm admitting that is true, if you don't start taking yourself seriously and operating that way, you really are never going to get anywhere close to that. I want to see that tomorrow. Not that we're going to be able to get a definitive answer at a press conference that'll make us feel in our hearts like, hey, Arkansas is going to win a championship one day. But I would just like to know that that is the goal, that's the standard, and I want to hear some stuff like that tomorrow.
Well, I know we'll continue on, folks, but last thing I'll say, when you're asking about, will Hunter Yurchek talk about something differently or whatever, the second when we saw that clip of him shaking Ryan Silverfield's hand and saying, let's go win a damn national championship, I think that told me we're going to hear some, not some BS, but we're going to hear some.
That's what we've asked for.
Lofty talk.
Literally, that is what we asked for months ago. We were
Correct.
like, hey, even if you can't solve all these things,
Lie.
tell us that's your goal. Lie to us. Lie to us tomorrow. That's what we want.
Hey, listen, I think Hunter Yurchek listens to Inside Arkansas Live every day. He's taking advice. He obviously.
That John Neighbors guy told me I could just lie. I didn't realize I could do that this whole time.
I would like to think that since he's been doing the CFP thing every week, that he's just becoming a little bit more, microphone and camera savvy. But,
yeah, we do
Yeah,
know.
we'll
we
see
do know.
how tomorrow
He's
goes.
clearly been getting a lot of great experience being savvy up there.
Ooh, yeah, it's like of all the words, I don't know if that's the answer. So, but again, folks, we're here live from Blue Ember Smokehouse in Rogers, and want to remind everybody that if you are somebody that's needing to get some orders in when it comes to Christmas time, which, listen, a lot of people got their orders in with Blue Ember for Thanksgiving. Yes, you could do it for Christmas as well. We'll do it with Blue Ember because they have a bunch of different locations across the state of Arkansas: Fort Smith, Jonesboro, Texarkana, Little Rock, Hot Springs, and of course the one here in Rogers. You see their phone number on the screen. Go ahead and put your orders in. As you will have some great deals like the whole turkeys that feed 18 to 20 people for $70. You also have whole ham that feeds 18 to 20 people for $65. They do catering events with weddings, parties, meetings, sides, everything that you could possibly want. And also a cool thing too is they actually have a little meeting room back here at all their locations, but also here in Rogers. So if you're ever looking to have some sort of event here at Blue Ember, they have a private room which you can rent out as well. So they do it all. It's a great spot. We love being here. And again, every first Wednesday of the month, we'll be here at Blue Ember and Rogers. Just coming out and see us. And once again, if you want to get involved with that drawing on our $100 gift cards here from Blue Ember, just come into the Rogers location today while we're here. Intern Cameron will take your name down. We'll do the drawing later this afternoon as well. But yeah, guys, I'm excited about it. I guess our guy Peyton of Blue Ember said that Curtis has to eat the ice cream cone. I don't know why he just chose Curtis, but
well, I guess if that happens, then that would guarantee a Razorback win tonight. I'm willing to do a lot of things for Arkansas to win. Housing one of those, foot-long ice cream cones on camera, I don't know.
Not to that point yet.
I might just bet on the Hogs to just take care of business at home. Like it's not that egregious of a concept. They beat Louisville in Bud Walton Arena. Well, but for the Final Four, maybe I would down one of those things. I don't know.
We always ask the question of what would you do to have your team win or whatever, and it's a fun conversation, fun exercise. I'm in the business of make them do the work first, and then I'll maybe consider doing something. So it's like if they win, then we can consider it. But you don't want to run the risk of housing ice cream on set here and then Arkansas losing tonight, and now you have a tummy ache and a heartache.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
I love how Andrew called it a set, like not a stage set.
This is our studio
set.
here.
Yeah, it's our studio setup here at Blue Ember. So, but yeah, we'll get to your chats, folks, and Dudley's going to give us a recruiting breakdown. He'll have a little recap of what's happened so far later in the show. But just to give everybody an idea where Arkansas's at, this is according to 24/7 Sports, where it stands on the recruiting front right now. They are 61st overall. That's both overall rank and composite ranking. They have had 14 players sign their letter of intent, still waiting on one of their hard commitments in Daquan Prevost to sign. He's the only one that's committed that is yet to sign so far today. But
it's the Benville kid, right?
That's right. Yep.
We should just stop by after the show's over. If he hadn't signed, let's just pull up at Benville.
And we'll have him use one of the bombastic
what's
hats.
up, dude?
The bombastic hats to sign on it. So it'll just be the Razorback hat there.
I like that.
But yeah, so we're waiting on him. But of course, the other big in-state kids, Danny Beal, Terry Hodges, Anthony Kennedy Jr., Colton Yarborough, who was not in-state, but as far as that, and Tay Lockett, which we know he's fired up to get after with Arkansas.
Technically an in-state kid, right?
Yeah, I mean, he is.
Yeah, it counts.
Yeah, I mean, he's in Conway, so we're going to count it. But so far, no, I wouldn't say any major surprises, but still long day ahead, and still signing day, I guess, in February could transpire.
They flipped that one kid from Memphis today, that receiver.
Yeah, he looks pretty good. I mean, highlights are highlights, but not bad.
It reminds me a little bit of this. I hate to reference the Chad Morris era. The first, can y'all name the first person to commit/sign under Chad Morris? It was Michael Woods, who was committed to him as a 3-star receiver at SMU. And he was like, hey, it's my first order of business. I'm getting Mike Woods. Best decision Chad Morris ever made, frankly. I'm hoping this kid can kind of have that kind of vibes of like the 3-star that was a stud that was about to go to Memphis and now is going to get to go to Arkansas. I like that.
Yeah.
Even if he has his own YouTube channel.
Woodville had some good content.
Yeah, it was. He's kind of doing the YouTube thing before the YouTube thing started happening in sports.
And
pre-NIL, if I'm not mistaken. So always wondered how that worked because when there's something out, this
as
bringing
soon as
us up
NIL
randomly.
became a thing, he left.
Yes, which is funny. Which is also like I think there was something that he even talked about where he couldn't monetize his YouTube channel because of the rules or something like that. Where I don't know.
He used to play music on his channel a lot, so that would make sense.
Oh, I thought it was just because the NCAA wouldn't allow him to. But
maybe
could have
that
been
makes
the
sense.
music too. Could have been. Oh, and also speaking of music, shout out to Jaden Hazelwood, who's going down the rap career front. So
Yeah, it looks.
I meant to make that my heavy
Looks
hitter
good.
yesterday.
So-
well, you can still today because
And
we
I
are doing
completely
heavy
forgot
hitters.
about it. No,
Yeah.
I've got a different one. I've got a much more important heavy hitter. That's a tease for later in the show. You can't stop watching because my heavy hitter today is worth tuning into.
There you go. There you go. So
Is this a good time to, give the eulogy for Kane Archer, or are we?
I mean,
It's not eulogy. It's just it's not goodbye. It's see you later.
he whiffed.
Is
He
that
whiffed
right?
on
Okay.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Arkansas whiffed on him, obviously. Listen, we'll bring it up. I'll bring it up. I hate to be this guy. I really do. But I think Kane Archer could end up being a great quarterback. It's nothing against him or anything. It's just I am always a little skeptical of high-level in-state quarterbacks in the state of Arkansas. That doesn't mean it's impossible for you to have a great one. It's just it seems like there's been a trend where a lot of these high-level quarterbacks from the state don't pan out or don't live up to the expectation that they have. I don't know what Kane Archer's expectation is. I don't. But, you think about the Mitch Mustaines. You think about the Kyle Fraziers. You think about the Ty Stories. You think about the guys that 4 stars, high-level guys. It just doesn't pan out that way. Now, there are some. Brandon Allen, definitely, obviously, he's playing in the NFL. Worked out pretty well.
Over
Tyler
a
Wilson.
decade ago at this point.
What's that?
Both of those guys well over a decade at this point.
Yeah, right, exactly. So you have him. You got Tyler Wilson did well. I mean, Matt Jones, but was for his athleticism. But my point is, it's just I really hope one of these days a high-level in-state quarterback lives up to that high expectation because it is high and it's tough. It's a tough position to play, but it just feels like Arkansas's had so many guys that are 4 stars or above at the quarterback spot that just don't ever find their way in college football.
I'm not one of those, I don't want to do a thing where I'm like, hey, the recruiting rankings are what they are. And like they are set in stone. And that's how we should view it. Like there's kids every year that outperform their recruiting ranking. There's kids that don't live up to their recruiting ranking every year. But I do think like it is something to consider. Like Kane Archer is, I don't know where he ranks. I think he's like maybe the 47th best quarterback in the country or something like that. Like an 86 3-star, like a very solid, respectable prospect that has offers from, a lot of Power 5 schools. And it would be a perfectly fine, like if you removed his name and changed his location to somewhere else and he committed to Arkansas, we wouldn't bat an eye, but we also wouldn't be like super waiting on pins and needles to see what he does. If Arkansas got an 86, for instance, Javon Gilmore, in fact, was ranked above him, and he was Arkansas's QB commit for a while. Javon Gilmore is a nice player. He was not a guy that anyone in the state was talking about as like, oh, watch out for this guy. Hey, we need to have these high expectations. And so I'm not saying you shouldn't have high expectations for Kane Archer, but I would say that if you just changed his name and had his location slightly different and it wasn't Greenwood, Arkansas, I don't think he would be a guy that we would be freaking out about. And again, if you're one of those guys that's like, hey, I watched him play, I think he's a stud, I think he's going to end up being a 5-star talent, that's perfectly fine. Like I'll hear you out and I can hear the case for it. But I do think there is something to be said about just like, let's just see how it plays out. And this might sound disrespectful, but in baseball, a lot of times the Hogs will do this thing. They did it with Matt Goodhart where they said, hey, Matt, we don't really have a spot for you on the 2018 roster, and you're not going to play. Why don't you go to a JUCO and just get some reps, and then we'll see, and then we'll have you a kind of a loose commitment. You can come next year. I know football, the JUCO thing isn't really a thing anymore. I do wish there was a way where Kane could go play somewhere else, get a ton of experience, and then maybe come back to Arkansas. Problem is, I don't know if Utah is that spot. because I don't think Utah's not like a poverty program where it's like, oh yeah,
Not at
he'll
all.
just definitely be the starter right away. I kind of wish you were going to a smaller school so that he could play, and then we could at least see and be like, all right, this is what he looks like in the Sun Belt. Now what would he look like in the SEC? I fear that we're never really going to get that definitive answer. But for Hog fans that are like devastated that he didn't sign today, hey, if he ends up being a transfer portal prospect later, I would imagine he'd have a lot of interest. In fact, it seemed like he had a lot of interest even now.
Yeah, and I don't know. I cannot remember the name of the young man, but I guess Silverfield, he's going after a dude who either was committed or is committed to Virginia Tech. Like, so he's trying to, maybe flip him or get him or whatever. I don't know if that dude is, a higher ranked recruit or, valued above where Archer is or whatever. I would imagine that if they can, they'll wind up getting a freshman quarterback. Usually you try to take one and go with that. And, obviously with Grayson Wilson and KJ Jackson, that's going to be a really interesting thing too, because I saw somebody, I got to start starring these when I'm thinking about them, but said it like greater than a 7 out of 10 chance that KJ Jackson returns or that Silverfield retains him. I think you would be foolish to not try to do that. But I also think if I'm Ryan Silverfield, I'm coming into this thing and I'm thinking, okay, we're trying to win right away. We're trying to do this now. This is not going to be a process. I'm trying to go out there and hit a home run at quarterback. I'm not saying that KJ Jackson couldn't be a very competent SEC starter. He's got a little bit of experience now, but I'm going out and trying to get a proven commodity out there at quarterback. If I'm spending money on my offense, it's going to be at that position because I need that dude to help carry me in my first season. And if you go out there and get that, if I'm KJ, I'm probably looking at it going, well, I proved myself enough to where I should be able to play somewhere. So I don't know if he would stay on board with that. The alternative life that you could live is go out and get a transfer with some experience and say, hey, we're going to have a straight up old fashioned competition between you two guys. And I got to be honest with you.
And really commit to it.
And
Don't
really
do
commit to it. And I just don't think that's what you need to do in year one when you're trying to install a new system and, build the chemistry when you're going to have such a turnover on this roster and everything. It's almost like if there's a position where you need to know who your guy is right out of the gates, it needs to be that. So I'm going to be really interested to see how he handles the KJ Jackson situation and the portal situation when it comes to quarterback.
Don't yell at me, everyone, but I'm going to take a quote from Alex Golish, our former coach, our former Daniel Altman. He was in his press conference the other day. He was saying, what the elite coaches do is they find out who their best quarterback is, and they build the entire offense around him. So to your point, if Ryan Silverfield looks at KJ Jackson and he says, I love what I see. I think, I like this guy. I want to roll with him. All right, then that's cool. Build your entire offense around him and let's go. If not, go get a transfer. Like you're saying, build the entire offense around him and let's go. I'm kind of with you in that. Not that I don't love a quarterback battle. If that's the way they want to do, like, cool. Like, I'll gladly support that. But I do think there's a lot of value in knowing who your guy is and tailoring everything you do as a play caller, everything you do as an offense to that quarterback. And if that's KJ Jackson, cool. I loved what I saw from KJ Jackson. I actually am like kind of bullish on KJ. Like, I'm not full on, like, I've seen some people being like, he's got like Heisman contender written all over him. I don't know if I agree with that. I do think he has very solid power 4 quarterback written all over him. And so I like that idea and I will gladly get behind. But like you said, I'm certainly not going to be offended if Ryan Silverfield's like, yeah, I want to go get my own quarterback and then make this thing work. And I don't think Hog fans should be offended either, frankly, even if you do love KJ Jackson, which we do.
I'll tell you what, I want to continue talking about because there's a lot of good stuff we can get to about the quarterback position especially. But I want to remind everybody that Hickey & Hole Law is the official law firm of us here at Inside Arkansas. A lot of you may get into some trouble. Maybe you got some people who are going to find trouble for you and trying to cause some problems for you. Well, when it comes to the legal system, you need to make sure you're covered because there is a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of laws out there that you may not know about. Well, don't worry about it. Just let professionals like at Hickey & Hole Law help you out with its divorce and custody cases. They can take care of you because those are important. And it's too important, in fact, to try to face them alone. And they'll provide you with that persistent and diligent representation, help guide you through the entire process. And they know the foundation of a strong attorney-client relationship is built on that honesty and trust. So be sure to hit them up because they make it so easy for you and for everybody involved. So give them a call today as they have offices across the entire state of Arkansas, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Little Rock, and Mena. Call them at 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. You can also check out their website at hickeyandhole.com. It's Hickey & Hole Law. Things are about to get better. Again, folks, we're live here at Blue Ember Smokehouse in Rogers. If you want to get in the drawing for the $100 gift card from Blue Ember, come by and hit up intern Cameron over there. Get your name written down as well as your phone number. But to the quarterback situation, guys, to go circle back to it, I may have a hot take, and this is nothing against anybody, but I will almost be a little bit concerned if they go with KJ Jackson. And here's why. Nothing to do with him. He could 100% work out. He could 100% be great. But if you're trying to win now, which we know he's trying to do, as you brought up, Curtis, do you really going to rest your laurels on a guy that has not been a perennial starter at all in college football? You know what I'm saying? Like, It's one thing if you go and get, like what they did with Taylon Green. Not saying they got to go that route, but it's like he started. He had a lot of experience in college football and playing, even if it was at Boise State, but at least he had that. I feel like it'll be almost like a little like, okay, could you not get anyone better? Did you settle? Or what we all would hope is that he's just that rock star of a guy, and he just is thought of that highly by Ryan Silverfield, and he thinks that that's the guy that can lead him to win right now.
So I think the premise of what you're saying is 100% right. And that's why I say, like, whatever Ryan Silverfield chooses to do, I don't really think we should, like, freak out one way or the other. Like, if he does just say, hey, I want to go get my guy and do that, that's perfectly fine. And like you said, KJ has only played, 70 snaps in his entire career or whatever. Not a ton of experience you can really bank on. I will compare this a little bit to the KJ Jefferson situation at Arkansas. Because if you remember, KJ Jefferson was a true freshman during Chad Morris's last year. He starts one throwaway game against LSU against that Joe Burrow team in Baton Rouge. He played like 2 quarters, whatever. He comes back as a redshirt freshman and is the backup to Felipe Franks. So Sam Pittman did what you're saying, John, of you go out and get a guy who's really played football and you have your redshirt freshman learn behind him, and then you unleash that redshirt freshman the next year when he's a redshirt sophomore. The only difference here is KJ Jackson is a year older. He is about to be a redshirt sophomore, which is kind of the time where if you're going to let it rip with the kid, let it rip. Redshirt sophomore, like, you've gotten some experience, you've gotten your feet wet. Now it's time to go. And so I actually don't think it's like that crazy of a suggestion to think, hey, I know he hadn't played a ton, but like he's a redshirt sophomore. He's got experience. I've met with him. I've watched the film. I like this. I'm buying into this. I also think the aspect of the teammates, because we've seen KJ Jackson's been tweeting out all this, hey, I'm a hog or whatever. All his teammates are reposting or whatever. I'm not saying you should just take CJ Brown at his word and be like, hey, whatever quarterback you want, I'm rolling with him. But it's like, I think there's something to that. And so I think KJ Jefferson, what made him such a perfect quarterback for the Sam Pittman early era is that he was the kind of perfect mix of, you had that built-in leadership of he's been around for a few years, and now we're building this new system around him. I think there's a case to be made that KJ Jackson could be that. But to your point about the inexperience, that's why I just seriously, adamantly feel that we should not freak out too much if they do go a different direction.
Here's the other thing. And by the way, I will guarantee you guys that Arkansas brings in a transfer quarterback. It's
1,000%.
the level of which, like, you have to, right?
They might bring in a Trevor Jackson type of thing.
Exactly. Like, we all agree that they have to do that.
What was that one
can't
kid?
Just be KJ and Grayson Wilson.
What was that one kid from South Florida? What was his name?
Boda?
Not Boda. Fortin. Cade Fortin.
Oh, Cade Fortin. Hey,
Fortnite.
You know what? Was that against Auburn? Who was that game
Mississippi
against?
State.
Maybe that's what it was. Okay.
Them and LSU he played.
But the other thing to consider here is Arkansas's money situation. Is it going to be better? Probably. How much better is it going to be? I think we'll learn based on how they handle this particular situation, because if you're balling on a budget, even if it's a better budget, you got to look at it and you got to prioritize. We know that Arkansas, they legitimately have to go out and get an entire defense. Like, you have to go out and get what? I mean, I'm being serious here. Like 8 starters on your defense. Yeah, you got to get an entire defensive line. That stuff is going to cost a ton of money. So if I'm Ryan Silverfield and I know that this is not like this infinite pool of cash that I'm working with, then I got to look at it and go, okay, based on what I have right here in house, where am I comfortable? Okay, and so I'm going to prioritize it on my needs financially. And I'm going, okay, I got these offensive linemen coming back. Good. I don't need to go out and spend 1.5 on a left tackle. All right, fine. We'll work it out with these guys. Whatever position you want to talk about there. Defensive line, okay, I know we got to go out and get several dudes. That's going to take up a large percentage of what I got going on. How does he view his situation at quarterback? Because you're probably going to have a lot of receivers back. Do you go get one stud? What's it going to look like at running back? You probably need a guy. I like Cam Settles. But that quarterback spot, you're right. He might look at KJ Jackson back. Okay, now I've got this much money, and I can take 15% of it, and I go out here and spend a bunch on a surefire starting quarterback, or I can trust myself, and we can develop this guy, and I can get our insurance policy out of the portal, and hey, if he winds up beating him out, that's great. but we're going to spend the bulk of our money elsewhere. That very well may be what they wind up doing here, the more that I think about it. Is he going to have $4 million to just go hand to a quarterback when you have a guy like that in-house? I don't know.
Curtis, your son was so proud of that rant there that right as you were about to wrap up, he just decided to spit out a few little liquids, let it roll down his cheek a little bit. Look at him over there. Look at the Wilkerson family here to support. Also, Michelle's decked out in her blue ember. I almost wore that exact sweater, and I'm now glad I didn't because you know how I am. I hate accidentally matching with people. That would have been a tough one.
I was going to tell our buddy Peyton, I know he's in here in the chat, and he's the one that hooked us up with a bunch of the swag that we have here. And I've got the hat. I wear it around. I've got the shirt. I wear it around. But I walked in with that sweater and just took a look at Michelle, and I was like, "You would probably like to wear this, wouldn't you?" And she has, so good on her for that. But it's good to see the little man out here. You know, it's
he's looking right at me. Eyeballs are out and about.
He's really checking you out, man. And you know, this is one of those deals where today, very long day. Like we're out here, we're going to be at the basketball game. It's going to be a late night working. Tomorrow is going to be absolutely crazy. I'm not going to get to see him much the next couple of days, so it's good to see him hanging out here. He woke me up a couple times last night, not because he was upset and crying, but because he was passing gas so loud.
Been there
from his crib that it just woke me up out of my sleep, and I knew it was either baby, Michelle, or dog. And it turns out that it was baby. So there you go.
Or all the above. I mean, it could have been all the above.
Yeah, exactly. I shouldn't assume anything.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's good to see old Wesley over there hanging out, and of course, Michelle rocking. It's almost like she's good at this whole like thing of showing up for the brand of Blue Ember and wearing the sweatshirt. That's great. So I also want to give a shout out to our guy Jerry, who is actually a friend of mine, his grandfather, and he just wanted me to let you. He's called you guys young guys. Says that he listens to y'all every day and he's a big fan. So,
we are young guys,
Mr. Jerry Cavness. So yeah, appreciate you so much.
Shout out to Jerry.
Man.
Very cool.
Yeah,
hey, appreciate you. Thanks so much.
Yeah. So he's good people over here. So yeah, listen, we're popular. People like us. It's cool. It's whatever. But it's just so fun to talk about a quarterback position. I love quarterback battles and I love like quarterback positions and what's going to happen. There's just something so exciting about no idea. We have no clue. Because when Bobby Trino got hired, I felt like Taylon Green was like there immediately. It's like when he was the OC when he got brought in. Same thing with you kind of knew KJ was going to be the guy. They went with Felipe Franks, but you knew KJ was next up. Yeah. This one, I'm like, dude, there could be a quarterback that's like at, just pick an SEC school that started last year. That's like, oh wait, he's going to be your quarterback next year. Like it could absolutely happen. It'd be kind of cool.
I see some discourse in the chat about the cost of it. Because to your point, the case for KJ Jackson would be that it is a little bit cheaper also.
And it would be.
And
for sure. No
disrespect, Muscle Hog. There is not a world in which KJ Jackson would demand $1 million and be paid that $1 million. I'm not saying he's not worth it. I'm just saying like that's just not an accurate reflection of the situation we find ourselves in. If Arkansas were to go out and get a transfer quarterback, it might cost them $1 million. I mean, Taylon made about $1 million last year at Arkansas, and he was a returning starter who had 70 games worth of experience and led the SEC in total yardage and all that. And I mean, I know Taylon Green, y'all don't like him and all that, but it's like I don't think a redshirt sophomore who has never played is going to be out here just like warranting a bidding war between all these SEC teams.
Well, I can tell you this, and this might upset people, but the player that has been paid the highest on the Razorback football team in the NIL era is KJ Jefferson, who made about $1.5 million. Taylon Green
was like right below that.
Taylon Green was a little bit right below that. So just I'm putting it out there to kind of set the expectation, if you're getting certain guys. But I think that's also a good indicator of like.
Garrett Nussmeier made like 1.3 or something like that.
Right, exactly. It's like getting a starting quarterback is big time, and that's why whoever Ryan Silverfield wants, go get him. If it's KJ, great. If it's a transfer, great. If it's a true freshman walk-on and you think that's fine, let's see what happens. We just never need to have a situation where it was Sam Pittman's, if not his greatest mistake at Arkansas, was making Dan Enos coach KJ Jefferson. Like that was a horrible error. Don't make the coach fit the quarterback. Make the coach choose their quarterback and because that's going to be the best way to do it.
And I also don't want to be dismissive of the notion of like, I mentioned that some of these returning players know KJ and whatever. And I don't think you should ever make your decision as a coach of like, hey, what do these kids want? But like, I wonder if KJ does end up sticking around and does end up kind of making a run at this, like that's a huge part of this story of like those guys in that locker room get to see KJ Jackson make a decision to bet on himself, stay at Arkansas, stick around with his coaching staff. And so if he comes out of the other end of it as the starting quarterback, I would be interested in that. I think that would be interesting to me. And honestly, frankly, I'm rooting for him, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I am too. So again, folks, we're here live at Blue Ember Smokehouse in Rogers. It's an awesome spot. First Wednesday of every month, we're going to be here live at lunchtime. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I liked Inside Arkansas Live doing it at noon, because if we go on location, we always get to eat lunch. So it's a great spot to do it.
Beautiful thing.
That's obviously was my first priority, to go into here to make it work. But because I had our guy JM, which I know always the guy I always refer to him as the guy that hooked us up at Macadoodles up in Omaha with the booze. But he reached out. He's like, I got a great idea, guys. He's like, you should do a morning show. It's like, you should kick rocks is what you should do. But it was like, it's something to where, we like doing, we're flexible with what we do. It's just nice to be able to do what we do when we do it and how we do it. And that's like, it's great to be out here and hanging out at Blue Ember. So
if we ever decided to do a morning show, John, you might lose me if we were trying to do the 6 to 9 thing.
No.
I don't know how you did it.
No.
I do not know how you did it, man.
Dude, yeah. Not only that, but like, I always tell people, it's tough waking up at 4:30, but having to be at your highest peak energy at 6 a.m.
That's the thing.
That was the thing. Like, and no, I didn't do anything illegal. I didn't know illegal drugs or anything like that, folks. I was just, I wasn't doing lines in the bathroom of ESPN Arkansas.
Did you ever stay up all night and just do the show? Like, just not all night, but like, if you're ever like awake doing something, it's like 3 o'clock and you're like, you know what?
Sometimes, but it was more about like, because I was so tired at night. Like when 9 o'clock hit, I was out. Like I was just, But so
you're like a truck driver.
Yeah, it was almost like I would get like 2 hours of sleep, if anything. And then I would just like make things up as it went along. So I'm sorry, Wesley. I was speaking too loud. I got too crazy with it, my man. My bad.
Sleep? What?
Yeah. It's like, what is that like? I don't know anything about that. So, but yeah, we'll get to your chats, folks. Really appreciate all of you tuning in here at Blue Ember Smokehouse here in Rogers. And let's do that. We got a few super chats. Of course, super chats always get read first, as we all know. But shout out to our guy Sharkensaw. Says some thoughts from last night. Tennessee has a major scoring issue. Michigan State is legit. Pope offense is a war crime, and we need to move Kentucky into, quote, absolute ass.
Yeah. Yeah, we did move them today over to the might be ass watch list with Mississippi State. Mississippi State's
honorable mention.
They are getting their MBA and losing basketball games.
Chris Jans and Mark Pope are keeping company with each other after that debacle that we saw last night. Yeah, Michigan State is for real, though. He hasn't seen what they're doing. I mean, obviously they beat up on Kentucky. So what? Everyone's doing that right now, but blew out North Carolina, blew out Iowa. I mean, they're putting on, folks. I think they played Duke or something this weekend, but to the other game he was talking about there, Tennessee, they beat Houston, and I feel like that maybe gave us a false sense of what that team is, because they turned around right after that, and they lost a game to a Kansas team who is good, but they they didn't have Darren Peterson, and then they went on the road and lost to Syracuse, and Syracuse is not. They're not very good, but if Nate Ament is not balling for them, they have a hard time scoring, man. They really do. So regular season Rick, they're always going to win a certain amount of games. They're always going to be in the conversation. But with some people who are looking at this saying, oh, this is going to be his team where he breaks through and gets back to a Final Four or whatever, I got to be honest with you, I'm not really seeing it.
Well, that's the SEC opener for Arkansas, right?
It is indeed, yeah.
Not that you're never going to be happy with that. I'm not going to go into that matchup being like, heck yeah. But I feel a lot better about it now than I maybe did. And I mean, I think it goes back to what we felt all along, which is that last year was a historic year for the SEC. So they were going to regress to the mean somewhat.
Yep.
I think it's actually a pretty big gap. Like, I think they are substantially worse across the board as a conference. There's still good teams that are going to win a lot of games. I'm sure the SEC is going to have some teams that make a run in the tournament, but I look around the league and I'm not fearing a lot of these teams the way that I did at this time last year.
Nope. In fact, I think they all suck, and I don't think they're very good. So.
Arkansas might have just clinched the SEC already, even without winning any big games so far.
Well, people are talking.
Well, and I know it's crazy, too, because I think about it like, not that's a big deal, but I look at the standings, and I see Florida's already got 3 losses, and I'm like, oh, what? How did they get 3 losses? And it's not because Arkansas's got 2, as we know, and Kentucky's got 3. But then I look, and it's all a non-conference, but it's like, oh, LSU's undefeated or whoever. I was like, okay, well, who they played? Like North Florida and everything. Like, you just got to take that in consideration.
I feel bad for LSU, man. Their best player tore his Achilles yesterday. It's the same dude who was kind of balling for him last year, and maybe it's his ACL or something, but had a season ender, and then you came back and played in like 5 games, then had another one. That sucks, dude. I feel bad for him. Yeah, the SEC, it's interesting. Alabama's the team that everybody looks at and it's like, wow, they're really good this year. They beat St. John's. But then you look at it and you're like, Well, everyone's beating St. John's right now. So is that impressive of a win? And they've got a couple losses too. So everybody in the league is definitely vulnerable this year. And I think the pecking order will probably still wind up being about what we thought it would be with that top group of 5 or 6 teams that get some separation. But it is not what it was last year. This is not going to be a 14-bid SEC, I don't think, by any stretch. Heck, the SEC might be the 3rd best league in the country right now.
It looks like
the Big 10 is rolling, the Big 12 is rolling. It's not what it once was. It doesn't mean more anymore.
Is this Vanderbilt's league?
It might be Vanderbilt's league.
might be Vandy's league in just all 3 sports. We might just be a Vandy conference now.
I don't know who their coach is. I legitimately do not know who their coach is.
Mark Byington.
That would not have been any guesses that I would have thrown to it. So
exactly. The James Madison guy.
There you go.
Are you sure Bryce Drew's not there?
I just assume it's still.
I think they've had 4 coaches.
Yeah.
Stackhouse.
Stackhouse
was
suits.
always well dressed. He was always well dressed for those 38-point drubbins.
I still love the fact that Anthony Black took 7 free throws in one single possession against Vanderbilt. I will never forget that.
And I also, I don't love, but it is kind of crazy that Arkansas lost a game in which they got 7 straight free throws awarded to them at one point.
It'd almost be as bad as going 10 minutes without a field goal at home against a certain team, like a blue team did yesterday, named Kentucky.
I saw Cats by 21 in the chat earlier.
I bet you he's in good spirits. They got Will Stein, head coach.
Will Stein. That's big.
They lost another basketball game.
Anytime you can get a Louisville grad to come run your program, that's always going to fire up Kentucky fans.
Hey, but at least, as I tweeted out last night, and the majority of Kentucky fans agreed, everyone's in unison tonight with Arkansas and Kentucky. We hold hands in unity to beat Louisville. So they're rooting for us. So that's nice for once. Shout out to our guy Hayden. Super chat. He says, was going to drop by, but the man is keeping me down.
Unbelievable.
Over under 45 portal pickups.
I could see over, actually, just because of necessity. I mean, you just think about, obviously your starters, you have 11 on offense, 11 on defense. A decent amount of those will probably be from the portal, but it's like Arkansas needs to bring in just bodies.
Yeah.
Unless they're just going to retain a lot of these, third stringers that are on the roster now, just for the hell of it, which you might do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this point, you might. Also, a super chat from Hog J. Just wanted to bring up Gary Brashears when we were talking about in-state quarterbacks. Nice. Do you guys remember Gary Brashears?
I don't know if I do. What year would that have been? I remember Gary Bohannon.
Yeah, I do remember him. Gary Brashears was early 2000s, and I believe he was from Clarksville. And he was part of the Robbie Hampton, Zach Clark. The one where Houston Nutt had to go to the intramural fields and pick up a player by the name of John Rutledge to play quarterback. And those were dark. That was before a guy named Matt Jones came in. But either way, Gary Brashears was kind of the same thing. He was he's the next coming of everything. And apparently Clarksville didn't just go up against the high-level competition and didn't really pan out. So, but yeah, great throwback there, Hog J.
Interesting.
Yeah, for what it's worth.
When I saw that, I was thinking Gary Bohannon.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that one. But, yeah, that's a throwback a little bit further than I was
You mean
thinking.
Big 12 championship game starter Gary Bohannon?
Of course.
Where didn't he transfer out and go somewhere?
Yeah, he started at Baylor, and then I don't know where he finished his career.
Is Criswell playing this year?
He was at ETSU this year. It was, you know who it was? It was him and Cade McNamara from Michigan.
That's right.
It was the best quarterback battle of all time.
Yeah.
What's his stats looking like, John?
So he played at East Tennessee State, the Buccaneers, and he went, he had 1,100 yards passing, 9 touchdowns, 2 picks, threw about 62% of his passes.
Hey, it's a solid end of the career for him.
Yeah, see if he played in a lot of the games here. He was part of that 72-17 beating.
One of the funniest moments back in the day whenever the U of A used to let us in the door at stuff. I remember we went to those spring practices whenever Bobby had just gotten hired as the OC. And they had a quote-unquote quarterback competition between Taylon Green and Jacoby Criswell. And Criswell would literally just be standing in the corner, with his arms folded, pouting. He was just he was getting 0 reps. It was the worst quarterback competition ever.
You know the only reason that happened is because Pittman went to Bobby. He's like, hey, man, he's a good kid. He means well. He came, so give him a shot.
It seems like Taylon just asked. He was like, hey, I would like to be the starter. And that was enough to win the job.
Yep, pretty much.
Wasn't that kind of what – Was that the one where Bobby was talking about how he just put the football down or whatever, and it's like, hey,
whoever lines up
here,
first,
yeah, whatever. Come on now. Let's see. Our guy Kingsley says, "Eat a couple ribs for me, fellas." Yeah, we'll do our best.
We're gonna eat a little bit of
Yeah.
everything off after this show's over.
Yeah, I saw. I was going to bring it up too because they were talking about. It's from this guy. He goes, "The meat and sides of Blue Ember are fire, but the cafeteria service throws me off. Just throw my slop on a plate and ring me up." Honestly, that's the way I like it. What do you mean?
Yeah, I like
cafeteria
that
style, because you get to see it being served to you. I mean, we're all about transparency here, and that's what Blue Ember's about. They not only get to see it and smell it, but you see it gets served to you. So,
especially when they bring it out and cut it right in front of you and everything, it's like
yeah, exactly.
I don't like when you go into a room and then you come out with my order. I want to see it.
Yeah, you want to see how the sausage is made, if you will.
Quite literally, yeah.
Yes, quite literally. Let's see.
And brisket.
Yeah, brisket and ribs and pork. Butcher Boy says, "I can't wait to be inside Bud tonight, hoping for an electric atmosphere." It better be. It better be.
So, like, let's be dead serious right now. Do we think it's going to be a good crowd tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be packed.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be a really good crowd.
We'll be more setting the over under 15,000.
Over.
Okay.
Over 15. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, no.
The thing I'm worried about is because every time there's a Wednesday game, people get upset when we complain about the crowds because everyone says Wednesday, church, 6 p.m., it's hard to get off work, traffic, yada, yada, yada. A lot of those excuses still are valid tonight. And so I wonder if people are going to throw that. It might be a late arriving crowd.
Well, they can talk themselves into Louisville as opposed to
I also
Jackson
do think,
State or whoever.
Not to be stupid here, but like I think the difference between 6 and 6:15 is relevant.
Yeah.
Like when you're trying to, you get off work at 5 and you're, maybe you're working Rogers, you got to drive on down like that. That should help.
Yeah, listen, that's another 15 minutes you can be stuck in traffic trying to park. So
Exactly.
it helps you out. It gives you that extra time. But I will say, because somebody tweeted at me this, and I don't want to be mean, but like somebody's like, "Man, it's just hard with these 6 o'clock games when you work till 5:30. I'm like, did we just start as a society working at 5 o'clock in the afternoons, like our day ending? Like, I'm pretty sure the 8 to 5 has been around a long time. And yet this is now it's just like, man, it's so tough when getting off at 5 o'clock to get to a 6 o'clock game. It's like, what changed in society to where all these crazy obstacles that we have to overcome to get to games when it was never a problem before? I just don't say the traffic's bad. I'd rather take that than 5 o'clock.
It goes back to the point we make every single time, which is less than 7 years ago, that didn't exist. Like we literally would pack out games all the time. If there was a team like Louisville coming to Bud, they could have came on October 1st. They could have came on January 1st. That it was going to be full at Bud. So it's like, I just don't know why all the excuses that we throw out now, why did they not apply during the Mike Anderson era?
Yeah.
The only thing I worry about with it, I think it's going to be a really good crowd, but if you go look, at certain places, you'll still see like full rows up for sale, and we all know why that's happening. But that's the irritating part of it. But I think it's going to be pretty good. I mean, there's been a game this year where the lower bowl has been full.
No, not even close to being full.
That is not going to be the case here tonight. So,
hey, matter of fact, if you're at the game tonight and it's the under 8 timeout of the first half, you have my permission. The U of A, they'll get on board with it. Go down to the lower bowl. If you're in the upper bowl and it's not full down there, just go down and get you a seat.
Don't do that, because there's nothing more awkward than you sitting in a seat that's not yours and it's really good and somebody comes up and says.
Well, that's why I didn't say halftime, because it's halftime. You run into that possibility where they're, went to go get a bite, went to go use the bathroom, and then they come back. Under 8 timeout.
Okay, real quick about that. When me and Curtis got to go, I forgot who they played when we had those really good seats, front row behind the scores table.
Jackson State.
Yeah. Shout out to my boy Rich Robertson. Great seats. We're sitting down there. We walked down there. And there was this guy that was already down there. We were there early, and he wasn't like third degree, but he's like, so who are you? Who are you? Kind of like, as in like, there's no way that this chotch could have these tickets. It's like, and I was like, oh no, this. And he's like, all right, whatever. And then come to find out he was down there, and then those weren't his seats. He had to go get back. I'm like, see.
Oh, there's nothing more satisfying than when someone's bugging you and then they get booted out of the seat because they're in the wrong seat. It's like it's like watching someone that cut you off in traffic gets pulled over.
Dude.
It's like that. It's like there's nothing more rewarding than that.
Especially when they get mad, like the guy in the student section that we kicked out because he was trying to sit in the front row, like just coming down there, and he just goes off and goes, 5 tours in Iraq, 5 tours. It's like, okay, this is what is like. I mean, appreciate your service. But does that mean you got to go down and it entitles you to the front row of the trough? Like, I don't know what that means.
By the way, do we know when they will be introducing Silverfield? Like, is it a certain moment in the game?
Just do it early.
Do it early.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Dude, at least no longer like
Cal
under
calls
12, under 12 timeout.
Cal calls a timeout when Louisville's on a 12-0 run, and then they're like, all right,
That's what they'll do.
Yes.
your new head hog.
Yeah, they'll do that, and then they'll be like, all right, let's do the fry toss, and let's do this tic-tac-toe game that nobody knows how to play, apparently.
Somebody earlier said dog frisbee in Silverfield at halftime.
Him throwing the frisbee to the dog. Let's do that. Let's see. Actually, Grant says, thanks for the tickets, John. One of the good ones. Thank you. You're welcome.
The tickets are one of the good ones, or John is one of the good ones?
Yeah, I'm about to say,
Definitely the tickets.
I think it's the tickets.
You don't think it's John?
No, it's not. It's like he's just saying that because he got tickets. But no, I'm glad somebody can use them. Yeah, we'll get to some heavy hitters. We're also going to do the recruiting updates. Amazing. This show's been flying by. We appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out and everything. Not a Burner says, I got to rewatch old episodes when I got to go to sleep and catch up on the 900 plus video views this year, people. Yeah, we had a lot of people talking about that.
We had a nice little competition of people being like, oh, I'm in the top 0.8%. I'm in the top 0.4%. I've watched 300 videos, and now we got like the little everybody doing their thing. I like that.
Shout out to all of you.
Yes.
Seriously, that is awesome.
That's when you know you've made it, when you have people fighting over each other in a competition to see who loves you more. You know, that's a thing. It kind of feels like The Bachelor, you know. It's like everyone's fighting over to be like, well, who loves me the most? Because I have consumed your content. That's a good feeling to have. It's a good feeling. Let's see. Also, Bama Hawk says, I watched the follow episode this morning, drinking more of the Kool-Aid, I guess from the...
I watched it as well because my free trial has not run out yet. Pretty good episode. I will say, it's a 13-minute episode, 13-minute thing. 6 of the minutes are the speech he gave to the team, which they had already released and I had already watched. But no, it was pretty cool. I got to watch his first interaction with KJ Jackson, which I sent to y'all last night.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah.
Where he admitted, he's like, hey, I haven't watched the game the other day.
At least he was awesome.
It was also Sunday, I guess. So it's like, it's fair.
Yeah. Let's see. Also got some of these I don't think we'll probably.
Wait, why are people telling me that Mike Anderson sucks? I think they misinterpreted what I said. I see a bunch of people being like, oh, Mike Anderson was a huge disappointment. My point is that his games were always packed. So I would agree with you, like whatever, but it's like those games were packed. So why are they not packed now? And why is him being a bad coach justification for the arena being packed when he was here and it's not packed now? I don't think that's the point. Y'all think y'all are making.
Listen, it's tough to listen to things, you know. It's just tough to listen to things.
I mean, I see like 3 comments that are like, yeah, Mike Anderson sucked. I'm like, that's not the point I was trying to make at all.
Popcorn says, question, did Florida throw the end of the Duke game? They had a horrible sequence of possessions that made it very easy for Duke.
We sent our undercover agent.
Yeah, exactly. That's big shot by Boogie there in the final sequences, but you know.
Was that the best game Boogie's played as a Florida Gator so far?
Well, maybe.
I know at the
end,
obviously. Right, but that's what I'm saying is like he's had some rough goes.
He was like 1 of 9 from the field in the first half, but then I think he scored 13 or something in the second half. He made that big shot, but then, you know, dribble the final possession off your leg there that cost you an opportunity to win. What is it with ex-Razorbacks doing that? Tremont Mark did it out in Maui. You know, he had the chance for a game winner down there, and he dribbled it off his foot, fell down, whatever it was, turned it over. Boogie did that just now. Caleb Battle did it in the NCAA tournament with Gonzaga. It's like, what are you guys doing, man?
It's hard to get the stench of Hogs are going to hog off of you, even when you go to other teams, apparently. So, yeah, it was a rough look there.
Florida's not – that front court is nasty. It really is. But if you don't have guards, I just don't know how far you can go. It's such a drop-off from what they had last year with Walter Clayton and those guys. But,
let's see. OKC Hog just says, someone tell Carter it's March Madness.
I like that.
Someone tell Carter there's a basketball game tonight.
Yes.
He's got to show up.
Yeah.
That's the other big thing about this. Like if you think about the Razorbacks at their best, you feel pretty good about their chances tonight. It's crazy that I don't know about you guys, but I'm way more confident that Acuff and Leak are going to show up and be ready to play than I am DJ and Carter, who are 2 guys who have done this for you before. Those guys, they don't have to be great, but they've got to contribute to the cause if you're going to win this game. And you really need both of them for defensive purposes in this one too. So hopefully they're locked in. You'll know right away with Carter because when he comes out and he immediately turns it over or, you know, dribbles it off his leg or steps out of bounds or whatever, you're like, okay, it's just not going to be his night. It's very easy to see if it's going to be a cardio game or if he's actually going to play. If he's out there and he's flying for an offensive rebound the first possession, then you know that you're going to get good Carter. If he doesn't, then just go ahead and chalk it up. It's a Billy Richmond night. Carter will play 20 minutes, but he's not going to give you anything. He's very easy to read from the start of the game.
I mean, you got 34 NBA scouts in the building
34,
tonight.
yeah.
That is the type of game, Curtis, back in your coaching days, if you were coaching a kid that scouts were coming to see, or another, a D1 team was coming to see or whatever, you would go to him probably and say, hey, there's a guy here, don't get out of character. Don't start trying to do too much. Just be yourself, blah, blah, blah. I would almost rather you go over the top. Like if you're Carter and there's 34 NBA scouts, I would almost rather you do way too much and be like helter-skelter all over the place rather than just being completely checked out, which he has been for large stretches of some of these games. Like I kind of hope Arkansas overcorrects and they're like too anxious, like playing over the top, going crazy, trying to impress the scouts. I mean, how like animals posture when they feel like they're being threatened. I feel like when you're in a game like this against a ton of top prospects, a top 10 team, scouts in the building, like you should be very motivated for this game to the point where Coach Cal should be having to calm you down on the sidelines because of how amped up you are. I hope it's that rather than the, hey guys, come on, you got to play hard. Hey guys, come on. There's a lot of fans here. Let's get excited. Like I really hope it's the other way and not having to motivate these guys and get them to care.
Let's see. Shout out to Shark. It's always been a member for 7 months. It says over under 2.5 hog calls after tip off. Under.
Yeah, they'll do one before tip off.
Yeah, because they don't like the hog call at the U of A.
Yeah.
Well, they'll do one with Silverfield for sure.
Yes, they'll do one for Silverfield and hopefully
one timeout from Kelsey.
Yes, yes, they better do that. But those are the only two.
I'm gonna go over, but I'll go 3.
Yeah.
Just to be that guy.
Yeah, I think they'll do a pregame and then 2 during the game.
I'm still keep crowing about it. They need to do the tip off like they do the kickoffs, like where right before the ball's tipped, everyone's doing their woo, and then as soon as the ball's tipped, they do pig suey. I still think that needs to happen. It's still going to be hitting.
It would be good.
Humry says Silverfield's going to hit the putt across the court.
Ooh, I like that. That one kid drained it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I want that though, because that may mean he's good at golf, and then that may distract him. Like Q Freeze got distracted with golfing.
You know who doesn't golf? Alex Golish.
I heard.
Famously.
Yes.
Famously does not golf.
I love
who does golf? Barack Obama and John Calipari together.
How about that? Low-key flex. Just like another day in the office. It's just like, hey, what'd you do, Cal, today? Well, I played golf with a former president.
Sure,
by the way,
over well
the story was tremendous of the Secret Service agents in the tree and he's knocking them down. Like, that's hilarious. I'm sure it's somewhat fabricated, but like, that's awesome.
No, I'm going to assume every bit of it's true. Do you think that they were talking trash to each other too, like during the whole time? And
yeah, Cal's a trash talker, man. Like I just don't think he operates any other way. Like I think he's probably light jabs, lighthearted, friendly,
dude,
patting him on the back. But yeah, I bet there's some trash talk.
Cal was sandbagging. He was that whole time in that golf game. He was sandbagging. And like, oh, what is wrong with me today? And then just on the back nine, just tears it apart and ends up beating Barack Obama. That's the thing. Is like we always talk about Cal being a celebrity that happens to be a basketball coach. I just can't get my mind around the fact that one, he's still here, but two, just something as casual as that. Like, oh, he can't make his first radio show because he's up there at the Yankee Stadium watching the World Series in the box of the owner of the Yankees. It's like, okay. It's like, we'll be over here just, hanging out and, living in Fayetteville, living in Northwest Arkansas, dealing with traffic. Just still can't get over that fact.
Larger than life.
He is very larger than life. That's for sure. Let's see a few more chats here too, because I know we'll have a recruiting update by Dudley, who just sent it over to us to give you a rundown of everything that's going on here. Hawk Solo says, you're talking like KJ would be free. Retention can cost us as much as transfer, depending on who they are.
We already talked about this.
Yeah.
I started and then we wound up talking about it, but
I still have seen people pushing back of being like, hey, he's going to cost $1 million. He's not going to cost $1 million.
Well, what he's not for sure is going to cost as much as a bona fide proven transfer portal quarterback.
Yeah.
To bring in.
That was our point, is that if you're going to go out and get a quarterback in the portal that's like played, that will cost you at least $1 million, most likely. KJ Jackson would not. So if you are making the case for KJ Jackson, it would be that it's cheaper, frankly. I'm not saying you should make decisions based on what's cheapest, but like that would be one of the columns in the pro. He would definitely not cost more than whatever transfer you would go in that has a ton of experience.
Yeah.
Especially because he hasn't played.
Right. Cats by 21, by the way, just says, is it baseball season yet?
Dang,
oh, that's brutal.
Cats is down bad.
It's tough when you're looking forward to that Mingione character at Kentucky. Like, that's who you're looking at as your saving grace, is that douchebag. That's tough.
Yeah. You're looking forward to doing baseball season when you're having to play on turf. like in like rubber dirt. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's when you know bad things are happening over there in Lexington. But we'll see what they do football-wise. Because, again, Will Stein was a name that we did a making the case for even.
We did.
So there you go, Cats by 21. If you need a little excitement for Will Stein, go back and watch our making the case for him.
Yeah, no, definitely check that out. The one thing I'll say about Will Stein, first of all, he looks so young.
Oh, dude.
Out there, I was like, holy cow. And he is. I mean, he's younger than us.
Yeah.
But he had a lot of energy out there, which I thought was cool. I guess I don't know what their thing is, but was he like the Y at the end of the Kentucky thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever their deal was, but I was thinking about it, and I was like, here's the thing. If Arkansas would have gotten Will Stein, he would have crushed the hog call. Like, he would have been all in for that. He's just got that type of energy about him. And I'm just now thinking about how's it going to look for Silverfield. By the way, I saw John Calipari at his radio show Monday, and he was as animated with his hog call as I've seen him. Like, he was really in. Sometimes he'll just kind of be like, okay, yeah. But he was really into it. I was thinking, okay, so it's growing on him a little bit. I like that. I like to see it. I cannot wait to see and grade. We'll grade Ryan Silverfield's first hog call.
Yep.
And looking forward
he'll
to
be
it.
good.
And his first one's not going to be at a press conference. It's going to be in front of the fans of Bud Walton Arena.
Fans, man. Yeah,
So-
he's got to be ready for it. Don't make it weird.
Yep.
Pressure's on. This is the most important thing he's going to do.
Yeah, hopefully he's been coached up. Hopefully that's been the thing that's going to be going on. So we'll continue to have your chats, folks, because I know we're here live from Blue Ember Smokehouse in Rogers, but we know a lot of recruiting has been going on here today, and our guy Dudley Dawson has been on top of it when it comes to signing day, and it's all presented by our friends over at Goat Lab Brewery. If you're new, a great place to go and watch the game tonight if you don't have tickets, or if you want to pregame a little bit for some happy hour action there at Goat Lab Brewery or Goat Lab Red in Fayetteville. Be sure to stop by at 1214 North Garland Avenue, and you can see all the great things they have going on when it comes to their signature brews, their signature beers. They're doing progressive wing night too, so the more points that are scored, the more you get a discount on their great wings until they're free. That's right, until they're free, and you get to be able to have a chance to do that for each and every Razorback game this season, including tonight. Hang out there for post-game, hang out there for weekends. You can even go there for lunch and hang out and watch us on their big TVs there in their location there at Goat Lab Red at 1214 Garland Avenue. And they're also the official sponsor of our Inside Arkansas Recruiting podcast. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hear from our guy Dudley Dawson on signing day and doing a little recap of who has signed with the Razorbacks so far today.
Covering recruiting and the transfer portal for the Razorbacks. This is Inside Arkansas Recruiting with Dudley Dawson.
Welcome into the Inside Arkansas Recruiting Podcast presented by Goat Lab Brewery. I'm your host, Dudley Dawson. It is the first day of the early college football national signing period. Arkansas has signed 13 players. One is still left out there that they expect the national letter of intent to come in pretty soon, and also added 2 specialists. I wanted to kind of go over those real quick. Obviously, you could send them in early this morning, and Jalen Copeland got the honor of being the first Razorback to be signed. He's a defensive back from Valdosta, Georgia. He was followed by Colton Yarborough, the outstanding edge from Durant, Oklahoma. Arkansas was able to get him over a variety of schools. Tucker Young, an offensive lineman from Hot Springs Lakeside, was the next to get his in. And then a fellow offensive lineman from Beaufort, Georgia, in Ben Mugambo. Those 4 got theirs in the earliest. Then came an onslaught of Arkansas players. Danny Bill, the consensus #1 player in the state, defensive lineman from Cross County, who had been committed to Oklahoma State at one point, was looking close at Ole Miss and Missouri and others, and was able to work things out and get up here. Blair Irvin, one of the talented wide receivers at Bentonville, whose dad played for Kansas State. He's been committed to Arkansas for a long time. He got his in. Kendrick Williams, another 7A West player from Fayetteville, defensive back, 6'1", 195, got his in. And those 2 had some outstanding battles over the last couple of years. Another, Ja'Cory Smith, the Bryant, the one of 2 Bryant players that signed with Arkansas today. He's a linebacker who'd originally been committed to Oklahoma. They kind of parted ways, and he was actually in Coach Silverman's office in Memphis, Silverfield, in Memphis, when he got to call he was going to be the Arkansas coach. They had been recruiting him. The other Bryant player that signed with Arkansas today, Terry Evans, 6'1", 180-pound running back, a top 25 running back in the country, regarded as the #1 running back in Arkansas. And Hugh Smith, an offensive lineman from Missouri City, Texas, Ridgepoint, is one of the 3 offensive linemen that they signed today.
Covering recruiting and the transfer portal for the Razorbacks. This is Inside Arkansas Recruiting with Dudley Dawson.
Nothing like getting started again. Just going to go over a few more that they were able to get in. Anthony Kennedy is, of course, the outstanding defensive lineman from Little Rock Central, 6'6", 318, was committed to Miami and was looking at Missouri and some Ole Miss and some others. Certainly that's a big pickup for Arkansas. He was one of the 4 that announced on Monday that they were coming to Arkansas, the 4 in-state guys. Tay Lockett, who moved in from San Diego to Conway, had a great season for Conway this year after having 12 interceptions his first 2 seasons for St. John's Bosco out in California. A real ball hawk and somebody who stayed true to Arkansas and is about the school and about the state. And he's happy to be living here now, and he's going to get the opportunity to obviously play as a Razorback. Surprise, kind of, a little bit. Jude David Hall, a 6'5" wide receiver from South Carolina, a young man who at first had been committed to Duke and then flipped his commitment to Memphis to Coach Ryan Silverfield. And he had made the decision to decommit from Memphis after Coach Silverfield left. He decided last night, apparently, to make the switch to Arkansas, and he's now one of the guys that they'll have. He hit a game this year where he had 9 catches for 241 yards, very explosive, and a lot of speed there to take care of. Also, they got a couple of special guys. Deep snapper Eli Haltom from Texarkana, Texas, Pleasant Grove. Connor Smith, a 5-star and number 9 ranked kicker in the nation, according to Cole's Kicking, were the 2 special guys that they got today. The Deacon Prevost, the other wide receiver from Bentonville, as of this point, they had not announced his signing, but talked to his head coach, Jody Grant at Bentonville, and he is planning on signing to Arkansas, so they should have that in pretty soon, and that would be 14 signees on the first day. Again, thanks to Go Lab Brewery with locations in Fayetteville and Lowell for sponsoring us, and we'll continue to keep up with this early signing period, which goes 3 days, goes through Friday.
All right, there was Dudley Dawson giving the recruiting update for signing day. And again, maybe not as excited as it once was, but still important to get these new fresh Hogs on board and seeing how it all plays out for Silverfield in his first year. I'm sure he'll be asked about that in his press conference tomorrow, too, about just some of these new players and this in-state kids getting those flips and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm sure that he will. And it's a 3-day period, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just today. So,
yeah, it's through Friday.
So a bulk of them, they happen the first day. Everybody wants to get out of the way, and that's all cool. But, just if the day ends today, don't think, well, I guess they're just done. It's class. And then you got the late period and stuff, too. So they'll continue to add to that, and obviously we'll be excited about the portal. It was good to see Dudley there rocking the Cardinal stuff. It's just speaking of dons of a new era.
Yeah,
I can't wait to talk to him about all that.
I was about to say, I saw that the Cardinals, though, lost one of their big reporters to the Dodgers.
They did. I was getting ready to bring that up.
And you can't even keep the reporters, man. That's tough.
One of our loyal listeners that we hang out with and talk to all the time, he sent me the picture of that. He's very upset that happened. Katie Wu has been traded to the Dodgers.
So, yeah. Dodgers always. They just buy players, man. That's
great. Buy players,
buy money can buy, as they say.
Could somebody buy you off? Could another school, could another program buy you?
No. I'm not saying that to sound like because I wouldn't know what to talk about over there. Like, I'm going to talk about, hey, you're going to come and talk about South Carolina sports. What? I don't know anything about that.
The Dodgers are also proof that every single sports team at any level whatsoever, they all think they're quote unquote cursed. Because I see, not all the time, but like Brendan will be complaining about the Dodgers sometimes where he's like, oh, man, I just hate this team, man. It sucks watching them. I'm like,
yeah, we give him a hard time because all year long he's like, this team sucks. This team sucks. And I'm like, and so during the playoffs, I'm like, they still suck?
Chiefs fans do the same thing too. Where they're like, oh, I hate having to watch the Chiefs. I'm like, yeah, it sucks, man. Winning 80% of your games and 3 Super Bowls in a decade.
I got friends that are an Alabama football fan. They're like, we're just a terrible team this year. And I'm like,
yeah.
I hate you so much. It's like you're just so spoiled. You're so spoiled.
Some people hate their team so much and they think it's cursed that they run the Hall of Fame coach out of town. and allow him to go to another team and then hire an objectively worse coach to replace him. That's the thing that some people do.
Yeah. And he also wears Letterman's jackets. It's pretty terrible. By the way, just a few more here for you, roll out air. Just a root beer enthusiast just said Penn State got lockered by the cookie company.
Yes.
Hey, did y'all see James Franklin?
Yes.
Brought a crumble cookie to the Virginia Tech recruiting day. Holy cow.
That was awesome.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Only in college football, man. What a sport.
I do not know what Penn State's going to do. I have no idea who they're going to hire. I don't really care, but it's a big brand, in college football. And we were frustrated with Arkansas search, which has been, I guess about exactly as long, and how that was going to go. Well, they've got their guy, and they've got a signing class, and all that stuff has happened over here. Penn State, meanwhile, it's just like, well,
can I be overstated that Penn State opened like a week after Arkansas, maybe 2 weeks after Arkansas? Like they've been one of the longest jobs open. And I know Kentucky, they just hired a coordinator that frankly Penn State could have also hired, but it's like Kentucky's job opened Sunday and is filled now.
Well,
and Penn State's has been open for 2 months.
And not only that, but it's like all the coaching jobs that opened up, people were the most critical of Penn State for doing it because they're like, dude, you fired this guy? Like I don't remember any other jobs.
And then neglected to hire him before signing, hire someone else before signing day. That's a tough one.
I think we even talked about it. Like, man, they better have somebody like the Matt Rule thing was like you might have somebody in the tank, and now here you are. You're going to end up.
They're going to end up with Brian Kelly, aren't they?
I mean, that would make a lot of sense. Like legitimately.
I think it might be a match made in heaven. Honestly.
Oh gosh. Well,
maybe not a match made in heaven. Maybe made somewhere else, but it was a match made for sure.
Down in the place where they don't serve ice water. Well, guys, been a successful show. Any final thoughts? Here from Blue Ember here tonight.
Man, listen. I'm just so excited for this basketball game. I appreciate Blue Ember for having us out again. Love it here. I'm ready to grub out for sure. But this is a big one, folks, for the Razorbacks, and hopefully they show up to play and everything. And this feels like one of those that could be one of those early season instant classics. The styles match up. There's star power on both teams. It's going to be a charged up atmosphere. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. And in lieu of the, we're waiting on the heavy hitters. I do just want to throw out there we're on Malik Ewan watch. I know that sounds crazy, but he went for 17 and 19 against Louisville last year. And when he's checking into the game as the backup big man, Louisville's backup big man is cheap. That's barbecue chicken alert. So I got my eyes on Malik Ewan to have a big game. Let's see if the Razorbacks can get a win.
Well, in the interest of picking a basketball player named Malik as your preemptive heavy hitter ahead of a very big game, I'm going to do the same, Curtis. I want to point out that Malik Thomas is a guy that I have my eye on. He is my heavy hitter, and he's my heavy hitter all the time. There are some kids, and I was talking about this on yesterday's Bombastic. There are some kids in every sport that, we always say, this guy just gets it. There are some players that are not like the most, there's nothing that's a sure thing in life or sports, but some players you just know. Like, you remember when Andrew Luck was a prospect, and it's like his dad was a coach, his dad played, he's 6'4", he runs, he throws, like he just checks all the boxes, and you just get it. This guy understands the world and understands sports at a higher level than most his age. I think Malik Thomas is one of those guys. I am also a big fan of the law of averages. I think Malik Thomas is due for a big, you look at his numbers, you look at his shooting percentages, not the great. Leaves a little to be desired. I think he overcorrects tonight. He's a guy that lives for these big moments. I don't even have to guess. I don't have to worry about Malik Thomas. This is not a prediction. This is a spoiler. Malik Thomas is going to play some very good basketball tonight, and the Arkansas Razorbacks are going to win because of that performance.
Hey, I'm here for it. And since I'm going to go because I'm going to try to squeeze this one in there of, with Cal playing with the president of the United States, former president. I'm going to go with another former president's name, Carter, with a K.
President
Carter Knox. So, let's stretch Armstrong, stretch that one in there. But I hope Carter has a big game tonight because I feel like, hey, anytime Carter has a big game, Hogs, usually good things happen for the Hogs. So I think it's going to happen. Hopefully it happens tonight. But it should be a great one, folks. Really appreciate all of you tuning in. Really appreciate Blue Ember Smokehouse here in Rogers for having us out again the first Wednesday of every month. We're going to be here. Be sure to get your orders in for Christmas time when it comes to all their catered events. You can have the meeting room over here that you can reserve to. They got it all going on, 6 different locations here in the state of Arkansas. We really appreciate them, and we can't wait to eat all of it. And you look good too, intern Cameron. We'll get to when the names happen. We'll be sending you a text for those giveaways, and it's going to be awesome. So that'll do it for us today, live from Blue Ember here in Rogers. For Andrew Ellis, Curtis Wilkerson, intern Cameron, Wesley, and Michelle, I'm John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel. Tomorrow at noon. We'll have a good day, everybody. We'll see you tonight for Pot at the Palace post-game show following Arkansas and Louisville.